Obviously, news today, a new signing. If you could tell us a little bit about Jason and what you hope he brings to the lineup whenever it's his time to get in there.
Yeah, so Jason is a player in this league who's a proven goal scorer. Obviously, in his time with Phoenix, he was on a very good team, and a really important part of that team. But I've known about Jason for a long time, watched him over his career. Just think he's a dangerous attacking player, and it gives us, some different looks with Jason in there. Whether he'll play for us as a 9 or a 7-11, it just means that we have even more attacking options. Different kind of threat maybe than what we currently have, which is important, especially when you're playing teams 4 times in a short amount of time. I think the more versatility you have and ways to attack, the better. So really happy about it. I would give Danny Cruz a huge amount of credit for this. He constantly tries to keep tabs on all kinds of players that are available, and this one literally is because he did a really good job trying to stay in touch with players throughout the offseason that had availability, and this is just an opportunity that now and both for the future made a lot of sense for us as a club.
How did he end up here?
Well, last year he had a injury that kept him out of the Phoenix lineup, and I think that's what opened the door. He's back and healthy and was looking for opportunities in the offseason and didn't get picked up, and I think that allowed him, with the whole COVID situation, to really be stuck in limbo for a lot longer than Jason would have thought. Thus, this opportunity for us to now come in and acquire him at this point in the year.
Do you know yet if he'll be able to play Wednesday? That was kind of up in the air earlier.
That's pending the league approval. However, I would be honest in saying that I don't know that that'll happen that soon.
Just the uniqueness of the schedule. You played Sporting KC2 one time, you go into Wednesday. How do you prepare? And then the second time, knowing that the lineups are maybe on both sides want to be a little bit different.
Yeah, this is the first time we'll get a look at this situation where in a very short amount of time we're playing the same opponent. Both teams, you could see it was a hard-fought game on Saturday night. Both teams seem to have some players have issues at the end, and I think for both of us now, clearly we're not telling each other what's going on, and there's secrets, but we're trying to figure out from our side, how can we put out the best 11 possible, and I'm sure Sporting Kansas City is doing the same. They have a more difficult task than we do because they have a game on the weekend where we don't have a game. So we might have a little bit more of a chance to take some risk where they have to manage this 3 games in a week. So it's going to be interesting and tough for both of us, but I do suspect that you're going to see some new faces out there by necessity.
John, you said you guys needed the momentum to get that after you got that win. Did you see anything on film later that you were even more excited about after you watched film?
I did actually. You have thoughts right after a game. You're really emotional, but when I watched the game back and literally went through and tried to dissect it and reflect on it, I was really pleased with some areas that I thought I might not like as much. So I feel good that at least from our performance standpoint, we did what we needed to do. Really think that probably should have ended 3-0 rather, or maybe 3-2 if Ben doesn't make 2 great saves. But my point is that I was after watching it back more pleased than I was disappointed, because I believe while it was important for us to get that confidence back, there's no way to do that unless you get the result. But I always look at the performance, and then I think we can be even better than what we showed.
Sporting is such a young team, I guess maybe in that regard, did you all have a little bit more to learn about them on Saturday than they could learn about you with the more established sort of lineups? Is there something you can take away from that?
To be fair, I don't know. And my feeling is I would answer no to that question, Jonathan, because they do have some players. I think they've done a really good job as a club putting in some experienced players into that lineup. Dylan Cerna would be an example of that, where Christian Duke would be an example of that. They have now guys that have been either in the MLS or in the USL Championship and been high-level players, and then they've sprinkled in, some younger players. I mean, I thought Jake Davis, who was one of their homegrown signings, a player I knew, was in my 2000 pool. He was the 8 for Sporting Kansas City, did an excellent job. So I have a lot of respect for them, and I do look at their roster and how they built it and think, okay, this is not just a young roster. This is a mix of some young players, but some really experienced players. And to go back to Dylan, now you have a guy who is very talented. I mean, he was a player with the under-17 national team, under-20, the Olympic team, played in the MLS, and his job here now is to help this team and help some of those young guys come along. So.
What's the focus mentally for the team in the short term around playing the exact same team on Wednesday?
Is that we need to see if there's a little bit of detail that we can improve on. And for instance, when we talk about going over the film this morning, a lot of discussion about those details and what we can collectively do better. Obviously, you have to think about what Sporting Kansas City is going to do differently, but focusing on us, if we can get that little bit sharper, make the adjustment. And I think you saw two teams, again, that play a very similar style, have very similar ideas, and that means, it's a chess match the whole time. Which one of you can wear the other down, where you can break down your opponent. So we need to get some of those details right.